Here's what's ahead on the Best of John Miller. This isn't child's play. Meet a collector who can turn your old toys into cold, hard cash.
$100 for the lot. For the lot.
Also, a team of bowlers who are right on target. They don't let disabilities get in the way of having fun and bringing home trophies in their spare time. Plus, some student detectives go on the search for a missing engagement ring.
Me and Jake both had a metal detector and both decided we don't have anything to do, why don't we try to find it?
And a vacation that's not for everyone.
No, it's probably not, but it's my way.
Learn why one family left the car in the driveway and spent more than a week on their bikes.
Discover the lighter side of Northwest living as Idaho's News Channel 7 presents the Best of John Miller.
Thanks for joining us once again. I'm David Augusto. Happy to have you along here today. Well, you know that old metal wind-up toy you've got packed away up in the attic, or the doll you've been saving since your childhood? It could be worth some serious cash. Then again, maybe not. Either way, Archie Davis will almost always make an offer. John caught up with his traveling toy roadshow.
They are the planes, trains, and automobiles, and weird wind-up bikes, and bouncing birds that time almost forgot.
Oh, there's a nice one right here.
And it works just fine. At least it used to.
They did work good.
Either way, Archie Davis is interested.
You got any erector sets?
Allison Peace among those bringing Archie their pieces.
And you're going to have something that's going to fetch maybe $20.
Are you disappointed?
Yes, I am, actually.
That toy will bring ma'am about $125.
It's better than $1.
So it goes at this toy roadshow. Archie Davis, the doer of deals, where a truck that once sold for $20-some
now is worth about, $550 to $575.
This?
$60. $25.
$25 for that. Archie is a professional traveling toy buyer, representing thousands of collectors around the world.
They're movie stars, they're doctors, lawyers.
Who depend on Archie's expertise, giving him blank checks, quite literally, to buy up all the old toys old-timers like Keith Miller bring by the carload. How do you know so much about all this stuff?
I started at the age of 16.
Of course, Keith would say
$600.
he doesn't know anything at all.
I think you're jerking my chain here, my friend.
So some people will just pack it up and take off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And on to the next guy.
That's right.
You got a guy who comes in here with a ratty old garbage bag full of metal toys, and you know right away what the lot's worth.
Yeah, boom, 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 boom.
The good news?
This car right here, if it was meant 100% perfect, you had a box with it, it's about $300.
Bad news?
You take it like that, and it's about a $20 toy.
The offer?
$100.
For the lot.
For the lot.
Sounds good to me.
Metal lunchboxes sound good to Archie. You know why they don't make them anymore?
It's because kids were literally taking and beating each other over the head with them.
Really?
That's the reason they stopped making it. I'm serious.
You may be beating yourself over the head when you find out how many dollars your old lunchbox might have been worth.
Probably $325 like that.
$325? It's all money in the mechanical bank for Archie Davis. Buying your Martian men and talking tanks and Matchbox cars.
I think people will collect just about anything.
Even the wind-up bouncing birds.
There you go.
Love those metal lunch pails. Now, the most Archie's ever paid for a toy, $42,000. You can find out more about the Roadshow by calling 217-528-0656. Alrighty, the Oregon Trail was known more for wagon trains than webcams, unless, of course, you're one of Russ Redmond's fourth graders. They've combined a whole lot of history with a little bit of Hollywood. John Miller took a sneak peek at what became a major production.
I heard you watched our movie. Did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
It all started when my father told us we were going on the Oregon Trail to find better land.
You might call the Highlands Elementary fourth graders pioneers in their own right, exploring Oregon Trail history with modern movie technology. It's called what?
Claymation. You just have to sculpt your guy, and then you have to have an eyeball camera for the computer. And what you have to do is you have to move them like just a little bit.
Let's go back to camp.
Claymation, I learned it takes 1,500 shots just to make one movie.
And it's like a major motion picture, huh?
Yes.
Oops.
Yeah, it was
was really hard to make.
The wagon train is forming.
We had to make a story, and then from the story, we had to make the script.
Then you had to act.
Help me, please. The rattlesnake is wrapped around my leg.
It's like real Oregon Trail stuff, huh?
Hi, my name is Buck. That's a mighty fine wagon you got there.
To travel in a wagon, I don't think that would be much fun. I'd rather travel in a car.
This pretty much has to be pretty much the coolest school lesson on the Oregon Trail you've ever had.
Yeah, we learned a lot.
So, you think I could try a little stop-action photography?
I think it would be hard for anyone.
But the kids found out if they work really hard, they can accomplish anything. Look, I'm flying. Woo! See? It's a whole lot of fun.
Probably the funnest subject that I've done.
But it definitely took a long time.
3 weeks.
3 weeks? Jeepers.
Wait for us. We want to go too.
But it ended up being a really fun project, and we did really good.
The end.
Very cool. Now, the film actually had a running time of 45 minutes. We hear it was a big hit at its debut in the gymnasium one afternoon in front of the whole school and the parents. Well, how many times have we told you about Jim Neer? He's an older guy who built his house in Boise a few years ago despite being blind. Turns out Jim's got a few friends he wanted to introduce to John Miller. They're a team of aging athletes without sight, but still able to roll out a national championship.
Well, if it wasn't for my hip, I'd be all right.
Still, if it's true what they say about bowling your age, then Fred Rieger's going to live about 108 more years.
I have bowled up as high as 200.
Of course, at 92, he doesn't knock down all the pins at once.
Hey, Fred, you got her! I liked it.
So did Jim,
Bob,
Carl,
Dennis,
Lloyd, and Paul. They all like bowling, even if they have a hard time seeing it.
All right, Dennis. Oh, yeah.
How do you know if it's a good one?
Somebody has to tell me. You left the 9-pin.
But not for long.
Hey, Fred, you got her!
We won the championship last year.
Beat Indianapolis by 20 pins.
Yeah, that must be because of your aggressive nature.
It could be, John.
Yeah.
6 guys who can't see these 2 pins, but can find a way to knock them down, and only then wonder.
Did I make it? Well, it's a lot of fun.
It'd be a lot more fun with a few more folks.
We could stand another dozen or two.
Maybe form a league, or maybe hear old Fred break 200. Maybe. Or at very least,
just have a good time.
Love it. The bowling is just one activity made possible through the Idaho Commission for the Blind. As for our friend Jim Neer, well, he's still bowling. You can catch him twice a week at 20th Century Lanes. Still ahead, they searched by hand and with metal detectors. Could a Treasure Valley woman ever find her missing engagement ring?
I didn't know what to think. My mind just completely went blank.
And next, getting caught red-handed. John spent a very sunny day outside and tracked down some people playing hooky in the process.
Blown off work, left early.
Welcome back. Well, one March day, the sun came out, the temperatures rose, and the sunglasses went on. Not only because it was almost summer-like outside, but because John was out with cameras ablazing, catching lots of you busy, not working.
you can catch him about this time, about every year, on the green belt or the golf course. This guy's blowing off work, this guy's blowing off work, this guy's blowing off work.
And I'm blowing off work.
Now he's blowing holes in the driving range.
We won't tell the boss.
Because if you think their work ethic is misdirected this time of year, wait till you see their golf shots. Ouch.
We don't tell the boss that, though.
Because whether you're driving a ball, a bike, a board, or Buddy Schultz 52 Chevy, you got to agree.
Yeah, it's pretty nice here.
Even the guys gearing up for the Boise Roadster Show are up for the outdoors.
Oh, this is gorgeous.
Despite the risk of a little dirt.
Yeah, gotta keep them real clean.
Buddy, you're muzzing up the car right there.
Oh, well, we'll have to wipe it down anyway.
Just like the guys punching the clock at the car wash.
Washing away the winter, huh? Washing away the winter. You can see all the cow manure The mud from the manure.
I guess when you're spraying cow manure off the mud flaps, that means spring's here, huh?
Pretty close.
Blowing off dirt and
Blowing off work, left early.
everywhere you look, but we won't tell the boss.
Right.
You may already be a winner.
No, you couldn't be that lucky.
Later on the Best of John Miller, we go to a store that sold a very big unclaimed jackpot.
$623,000.
That's after we show you another mystery, the case of the missing engagement ring. Look at the search, high and low.
I just flipped out.
Many brides-to-be might say the ring on their finger is especially priceless and maybe their most prized possession. So what happens when it disappears? That happened to one Meridian woman. John has all the details of a team effort to find it.
Christy Bingaman is excited about being engaged.
Completely thrilled.
And Brent, her fiancé,
Love him.
and her ring. What happened to your ring?
I lost it.
Just 9 days after Brent slipped it on her finger, somewhere, somehow, it slipped off.
And I just flipped out.
Why? Well, just look at the ad she placed. Lost gold solitaire engagement ring near Wiley Learning Center, NNU, Meridian Taco Bell, or here, Hillside Junior High, where Christy tutors. And when she returned to work the next day,
That started an all-out search.
Right.
In this classroom and in the classroom next door, under the desks, under the tables, in the closets.
they even pulled the pipes out of the bottom of the faculty bathroom sink. But still, no ring.
I didn't know what to think. My mind just completely went blank.
After 5 days of searching, hope was fading.
Yeah, to say the least.
But that's when students Marcus White and Jake Vogt stepped in.
Me and Jake both had a metal detector, and we both decided we don't have anything to do, why don't we try to find it?
We just basically started at the corner over here and worked out a little path and then started coming back and stopped and looked down, and there it was, just laying there.
Of course, they didn't tell her at first.
No, I
Because
didn't.
being kids, they had to have a little surprise.
Right.
So they called in the crack Hillside video crew,
The dudes with the camera.
who captured the ring reunion during the next morning's announcements.
It was almost as good as being proposed to again.
Nice work, fellas.
Thanks.
And congrats to Christy and Brent, and especially to the kids, who cared enough to get their ring back, now secured to Christy's finger with a Band-Aid.
And I forever will appreciate that. I really think that was fantastic of them.
Now, Christy started working at the school only 2 weeks before she lost her ring. She says that makes the students' efforts even more meaningful. Here's a family vacation guaranteed to give you one heck of a workout.
Our goal was to go the whole length of the Boise River.
Later, learn why one father and son decided to spend their time off blazing new trails through Idaho. And next, the search for a winner.
I'm wondering if they threw it away.
We try to solve the mystery of a lucky lottery ticket.
I'm hoping it didn't end up in the wash, because if you're the winner, you got to have the ticket with you when you come in.
When the Best of John Miller returns. Who bought the lucky lottery ticket? That was once the $624,000 question to a Boise stinker station. Lottery officials say at that point it was one of the biggest unclaimed jackpots in state history. John thought the mystery deserved further investigation.
At the stinker station at State and Highway 55, they have a lot of mysteries, like how fresh and healthy can a nightcrawler really be? Can you beat a 25-cent coffee cake? And just what is the shelf life of a Twinkie? But here's the real zinger. October 1st, 1997, someone walked into this store.
Bought a ticket.
Right out of that machine.
Right out of this machine, and they haven't turned it in yet.
But they won.
They won $623,000.
Enough to buy at least this many tortilla chips and leave everyone asking,
Has anybody claimed it yet?
Yeah. And that's just about when James Erskine walked in with, would you believe, a Tri-West lottery ticket purchased October 1st, 1997. Yeah, that's the same day. No way, this is not happening. Could James Erskine be lucky enough to win it? Could I be lucky enough to get it on camera?
No, you couldn't be that lucky.
So the mystery continues.
That's right. I'm wondering if they threw it away. Got sucked up in the vacuum cleaner, whatever.
Boy, I don't know.
But lottery official Dennis Jackson does know this is the biggest unclaimed prize in state lotto history.
I'm hoping it didn't end up in the wash, because if you're the winner, you got to have the ticket with you when you come in.
And remember, while we'll probably never know about the Twinkie, that lottery ticket has a shelf life of only 180 days. So check your wallet one more time.
Because you never know, huh?
You never know. It could be you.
Wow, bummer. Here's the really sad part. The person who bought that ticket never came forward, never claimed the prize. Now, here's the good news. The $624,000 jackpot went to Idaho Public Schools. Still to come, a chance for a father and son to get closer to their state.
My feet are hurting. My butt's hurting. How about you, Conrad?
Yeah, I'm hurting.
And each other, 1 mile after another. Welcome back, everyone. Up for a little mountain biking? A word of warning first before you take a ride with Roger and Conrad Piper Ruth. It might take a couple of days. In the summer of 2000, the father and son cycling duo just finished a trip that took them all the way up the river and then back again. And as you might expect, John caught up with them along the way.
It's not everyone's way of spending summer vacation.
No, it's probably not, but it's my way.
15-year-old Conrad Piper Ruth blazing a trail through the middle of Idaho, pedaling with his pop for hundreds of miles.
Our goal was to go the whole length of the Boise River.
Conrad and his father Roger pushed off near Parma, where the Boise River spills into the Snake, bound for Boise, then on to Atlanta and beyond.
We've been biking, and then we've been backpacking, and then we've just been hiking and climbing and swimming.
Pushing on more than 40 miles a day, largely uphill, eating less than gourmet food.
Mostly dried stuff, lots of pasta, potatoes, some chili.
Topped with the common courtesy of friends they made along the way as they pushed into the Sawtooths.
And then finally climbed Glenn's Peak.
And in what could be the father-son bonding moment of all time.
We got up to the top, and we looked around and we can see the Payette Valley and the Salmon Valley.
And the start of the Boise River. Oh, sweet powers of purity, don't let us catch Giardia.
And then turned around and came back.
So almost 300 miles.
Yeah.
In how many days?
This is our 8th day.
On the home stretch, and as you can imagine,
my feet are hurting, my butt's hurting.
How about you, Conrad?
Yeah, I'm hurting.
A kind of pain they wouldn't trade for the world.
We saw one of the most wild and scenic stretches of country in our whole lower 48, and to do it together with him and to work hard at it was a great experience.
Very impressive. Roger and Conrad celebrated their homecoming with a lot of pizza and a lot of sleep, which is ironic because those two kind of go together. Whenever I eat a pizza, I get really sleepy. Anyway, they say it made them much closer. Conrad is now a rock climber, and he just got back from a trip to California. He also graduated from high school and says he's getting ready for college. We certainly wish him the best. Well, don't feel like you have the stamina for a long bike ride like that? Well, you might change your mind when you see a bike John discovered. It could be the cycling craze of the future if you're willing to sacrifice a little fitness for a little fun.
Imagine you're on your bike and you come to a hill and you start pushing it, grinding it, running and grounding it. And suddenly, you start coasting uphill. Greg Dietz can make it happen. He sells the e-bike.
On one hand, your motorized bike.
Right.
On the right hand, you run your motorized. On
Right.
the left hand, we're on a normal 7-speed normal bike.
With a normal headlight.
And we also have cruise control.
Hooked to a not-so-normal 24-volt battery.
And we're ready to roll.
All right, here we go. So we can just pedal?
Or you can just not pedal, and there you go. like a scene straight out of a Pee Wee Herman flick. Top speed?
14 miles an hour. 20 miles is your range.
So it can survive the ride to work, it can survive the hills.
But could it survive the high performance, intensely brutal, unsurmountable scrutiny of those North End biker dudes?
It looks a little big and cumbersome.
Yeah. More than 60 pounds, actually, which matters very little when you're not pedaling uphill. But as those hardcore North End biker dudes point out,
That kind of defeats the purpose of the bicycle, though, doesn't it?
Well, I guess so, if you're into it for the fitness thing.
hey, everyone's gotta kick up their heels once in a while. Besides,
It's an environmentally friendly bike.
It is.
Environmental friendly is good.
and so are you, coasting uphill.
Very interesting bike. Well, if you want to coast in comfort, the e-bike costs between $1,000 and $1,500. And according to the company's website, there are 2 dealers in all of Idaho, one in Boise and the other in Rupert, down in the Magic Valley. Well, that'll do it for now. We'll see you again next week as we continue our look at the best of John Miller. See you then.
Cue up the banjo music.
How's it going?
She is cheap.
Oh, man.
Revenge is sweet.
I'd say the odds of that happening with me are pretty much 0. Okay, 1% chance.
Oh, jeez. You gotta be a little bit brave about it, man.
What does your wife think about this thing?
I think she likes it.
Walking on the moon is easier, I'll tell you that.
You're killing me.
You get to be like the Eddie Van Halen of pumpkin cannons, huh? Did you ever think maybe I should have made my chest set a little bit lighter?
No, I didn't.
How old are you?
I'm 74.